Edward John Smith said that even God could not sink the Titanic. Yeah. Well, we all know how that turned out. Hey, thank you for coming back. This is your Meathead Global News. You know, way back in April 14th, April 15th, 1912, anybody that knows their history knows that the RMS Titanic sank that fateful evening. And we know by history that over 1,500 souls were lost. Well, recently, you also were aware in the news that 5 more men died in that same spot where the Titanic went down. You could almost say that this edifice to man's greatness is still taking lives. Well, evidently, there are at least 4 more people that were supposed to be on the Titan sub that were not on it for various reasons. Number 1 was Mr. Beast. Yes, the top YouTuber on the planet, philanthropist, Mr. Beast, was by his own admission invited to go on that fateful cruise, and he, for some reason, chose not to go. There are stories of at least one other YouTuber that was invited that decided not to go as well. Then there was a father and son that were going to go, but the 21-year-old son named Sean said, in a little tube that size, down that deep, 5 people, something's just not right about it. You see, in my opinion, I believe that thing is cursed. And the reason it's cursed is because man shook his fist in the face of God and said, you can't even sink this ship. In other words, it was erected as an edifice in the very face of God. Again, that's a losing proposition. It's much like the Tower of Babel. The Tower of Babel was built not long after Noah's flood, and it was erected as an edifice of man's achievement to overcome God. So in other words, they were literally saying that if God ever floods the earth again, we'll have a place to go in. We will not be decimated and destroyed by God. In other words, it was saying we will overcome God. Pretty amazing. Just recently, James Cameron, who, by the way, not only is a filmmaker, but holds the world record for going to the deepest parts of the Marianas Trench and is the world record holder in a submersible, actually said that that submersible was not fit to dive down to the Titanic. In 2019, an engineer was also in that same submersible. He said he went down and heard a loud crack, and when they came to the surface, he told the owner that they needed to stress test that thing, find out what was wrong with it, because there were red flags in there. By the way, was run by a video and a game controller. There were no safety measures even built into this submersible like other submersibles. It was nothing more than a death trap. You see, the Bible says that it's appointed unto man once to die. In other words, you're not getting off this planet alive. But I don't know about you, but I don't want to go down to the bottom of the ocean looking at some old crusty ship where 1,500 people died and get squashed like you're stepping on a beer can.
According to Dave Corley, a former U.S. nuclear submarine officer, when a submarine's hull collapses, it inwardly moves at an astonishing speed of approximately 1,500 miles per hour, or 2,414 kilometers per hour. This is equivalent to 2,200 feet per second, or 671 meters per second. Thus, the complete collapse occurs in just 1 millisecond, or 1,000th of a second. In comparison, a human brain instinctively responds to a stimulus in roughly 25 milliseconds, while a rational response, from sensing to acting, typically takes around 150 milliseconds. That's 25 to 150 times slower than the speed of the implosion. Therefore, the unfortunate individuals aboard the Titan could never have comprehended the unfolding events, It happened far too quickly for the brain to make sense.
Mr. Beast, this is directly to you. Understand that God spared your life as well as those other 4 people who were invited not to go. Use your time wisely, live for God, and I promise you, when you do leave this earth, you won't regret it. So if you are asked to go exploring in a tin can down to the bottom of the ocean, don't be a meathead, just say no.